colors, for opening up my eyes before it went any further. I guess.
But anyway, really, I met you guys was Dan Carlisle,
Yeah.
who was an engineer for me. I worked at a studio when I was cutting Marie Osmond's son Steven's first record. He owned the studio there in Salt Lake, and we worked a bunch there. And then he just started working with you girls, I guess, and thought that maybe I was a good fit for you. And so being that we met, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
2 or 3. And then how did it,
2006.
I don't remember after that.
You called me at some point and
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
hey, we might have a project coming in the next
Right up our alley.
some little bit. And I said, well, what is it? And you said, it's these 3 girls.
Yep.
And I was like, okay.
Not very good looking.
Seems like I remember me asking, does it look right? Oh yeah, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. And I was like,
I'm Allison.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Marianne.
And we are Pink Stilettos.
We are 3 sisters from Alpine, Utah.
And we are making our dream come true.
I'm always in love with you, and there's nothing that I can't do.
In October of 2009, we had the opportunity of having Gary Baker with Noise Block Studios in Florence, Alabama, come right here to our home. We discussed the making of our first album and decided it was a go.
that's like the moment.
Yeah.
That's like the moment, like we actually did this. It's actually, I'm holding it in my hand. It's right here.
I remember looking at it and just being like,
Baby, it's alright, yeah, I'll be fine. Don't worry about this, I'm just take your love and hit go. There's nothing you can do or say, you're gonna break my heart anyway. Just leave the pieces where you go.
and you can find our music online at www.noiseblockrecords.com.
Or you can find us on Facebook. See you later.
Bye.
You know, for 40-something years, I lived in Nashville, Tennessee, did a lot of recording, worked with some great people, Johnny Cash, Kenny Rogers, John Denver, etc., etc. And I had come to Muscle Shoals several times during that time, worked with Rick Hall at his studio and a couple of the other studios here, but I had really forgotten how relaxed and how laid back and conducive to creativity this area really was. A friend of mine called me, Bud McGuire, and he told me that he had bought Wishbone Studios, and he invited me to come over. So a couple of weeks later I came up here to visit for a few days, and I was here a month. And during that time that I was in Nashville, I worked with one of my favorite artists in the world, B.J. Thomas. In fact, I was one of the co-writers of one of his biggest records, Hey, Won't You Play Another Somebody Done Somebody Wrong song. So a few weeks ago, BJ and I were talking, and we decided it was time for us to go back in the studio. But instead of going in the studio in Nashville, we came in the studio here at Wishbone in Muscle Shoals. And I want to tell you something. The magic is so obvious in the cuts that we've gotten. He was so inspired. He is singing better than I've ever heard him. And he told me a few nights ago, he said, Larry, this is my new home. Anytime I want to do any recording, this is where I want to do it. So I got a feeling not very long from now you're going to be hearing some new music by my pal, B.J. Thomas.
And yeah, I've virtually recorded everywhere, L.A. and Memphis and Chicago and New York and all the places, but I never had recorded in Muscle Shoals. And this has just been, really, you probably expect me to say this, but this has been the best experience of my career. It's almost such a kindred relationship with Mike McGuire and Bud and Larry Butler producing at his best. And it's just been a real pleasure and just some of the most fun I've ever had. Everything I've heard about Muscle Shoals, this has been and then some. It's just been you know, much more than I ever expected it to be. It just had the greatest time. Everybody, you know, from the people at the Holiday Inn to the places where we had breakfast, and just every place has just been great to us, and I can't wait to come back. We're planning on doing a series of records, you know, including Christmas and classics and all kinds of things. So I'll be spending a lot of time here in Muscle Shoals.
Here's a great talent, and she just had a great performance. I wanted to tell everybody about the great performance she just did at the Wilderness.
Oh, it was so much fun. During the first half of the first song, I was trying so hard not to cry because I was looking out and everybody was line dancing, and it was just amazing. And then the lights. I just had a great time at the Wild Horse. It was awesome.
You should have saw how the kids came up there and just started dancing and started listening to songs. In fact, songs they never heard before. I think it's really unique to have an original song and have everybody dance to it. So that shows the great writing tool that you have as a great writer. So everybody saw that, everybody witnessed that.
Thank you.
You know, tell everybody about the record too, that your album coming out and everything.
Yes, actually I have an album coming out, debut concert in Atlanta, Georgia, or it's just outside Atlanta, Mableton, Georgia. And it's at the Mabel House Amphitheater, and you should come. It's going to be awesome. So I'm really excited about that performance.
It's great. It was great really working on a project because she's like a breath of fresh air in the industry. And I have roots in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, where I worked with Roger Hawkins, Jimmy Johnson, Rick Hall, and all those guys, Walt Aldridge, Gary Baker. And having roots down there so close to Nashville really helped me out to learn how to do country and to write. And we got together, just took it to another level.
And there was a kid on set that told me to write a song called Handcuffed to Your Heart. So I wrote it.
Look at this. This is a branding tool right there. and why is that? It's cool, it's in a positive way. Usually when you think of a handcuff, people think of as they say in the ghetto, police. I'm sorry, the police. The popo. Popo, 5-0.
Being handcuffed to another person, like you want to be around them all the time.
Nice.
So that's where I'd see it as a positive.
Dancing to its own melody, I could do whatever I please. There was no one I belonged to, no one I belonged to. I gave up waiting on the telephone. No one was there for me, no one to hold. Now I know I'll never be alone. Can't get away from you, 'cause I'm handcuffed to your heart. I hope it's forever. You can throw away the key when I'm wrapped up in your arms like we're chained together. I know I don't wanna break free. This is where I wanna be. 'Cause I got no reason to escape my fate. I do my time because you're worth the wait. Made for each other like we're true soulmates. No way I'm gonna lose you, not gonna lose you. 'Cause I'm handcuffed to your heart. I hope it's forever. You can throw away the key when I'm wrapped up in your arms like we're chained together. I know I don't wanna break free. This is where I wanna be. 'Cause
Thank you guys. It's cool. I met Drew at a pop camp, and he believed in me. I was the country girl at a pop camp. So
It was a great experience. Here's a great country girl in LA. You know, we're in the studio in Los Angeles, where I'm now. I do my special shows. And I saw her, and what was different about her is that she refused to put herself in a box with the pop people. And what happened was, she said, no, I do country. Can I do something a cappella? And it really struck me as somebody being different, and we're here today because of that.
girl down in Dixie Springs with long blonde hair and cut off jeans. We sat and talked underneath that July sun. There wasn't no shade on that black rock. The breeze gave up and it got high. She looked at me and said, now let's have some fun. Well, she got up and took me by the hand. She said, come on boy, we're jumping in. We're jumping in, what a rush. Felt so good for the both of us. In that water it was sink or swim. Our feet never touched the riverbed. We both knew we were over our heads, and we'd do it all again. Yeah, jumping in.
Hi, this is Chris Moore, and I'm talking to Taylor Lynch today about his acting career and his musical career. And I have to say, as a songwriter, I was fortunate enough to have a song on Kenny Chesney's second album right before he hit big, and it was a real thrill to see his career take off. And Taylor cut a song that I wrote with a couple of guys down in Muscle Shoals, Randy Bruce and Matt Thompson. And I see good things ahead for you, Taylor, as a recording artist. You did a great job on a song we wrote called Jumping In.
Thank you.
And it's really good, and he's got a lot of good recording projects coming out, and he's playing live, and a lot of good things going on. But let's go back before we get into all that and talk about your roots, man. You're from Louisville, Kentucky, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And big Louisville Cardinal fan.
Die-hard Card.
I'm sure you are. So tell me about your early influences with music and what you liked and all as a little kid. What did you like?
When I was little and driving around town with my dad, he had country on all the time. So from a young age, I heard country music a lot. My dad got a job where he traveled out of town more, so I was with my mom more, going places and doing things, and she liked to listen to 80s rock and Bon Jovi and all the hair bands and all the popular stuff that was on the radio. So I started listening to that more, and listened to that as I was growing up and getting into my teens.
Got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and then I came back to country again.
Oh, cool, cool. Well, it takes all the influences to make you what you are, because country's not just, you know, 3 chords and slow, mournful songs. It's got some rock in it these days, so that's awesome. Jumping In has got a real groove to it, so it takes a little bit of everything. I saw on your influences, everybody from George Jones to Jason Aldean, so you run the gamut on people that you like, right?
Oh yeah, I'll sit and just listen to the radio and listen to new stuff, and anytime a radio station will have like their up-and-coming artist songs on, I'll listen to those and see what's going on and what's out now. Cool.
So your dad being a big Kiss fan, that didn't work you too bad?
No, I managed to come out okay. Walking downstairs though and seeing the Kiss dolls sitting on the bookshelf.
Action figures, though, right?
Yeah,
is that what he
action
said?
figures. Sorry, my fault. Action figures.
I bet he
brings me out.
Said that right. Yeah, that's funny. But hey, that's good that you had all those influences. So you've had a really great acting career, starting at what, 8 years old?
8 years old. I got my first part in a regional theater production of Bye Bye Birdie.
Oh yeah, that was a popular show.
Yeah.
And what about TV? You've been on a lot of TV shows and all. How did that come about with your career?
Well, I did a model and talent search, and some agents in LA were interested in me.
Wow.
So we flew out to LA and met with a couple of them, actually signed with one of them. And then I started going back and forth from home to LA.
Right.
And got a little bit of work, caught a couple breaks. Did Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Desperate Housewives, ER, Grey's Anatomy.